16th birthdays have a special relevance in many cultures. In many countries, turning 16 means unlocking new legal rights, such as driving privileges or voting privileges. In Germany, most teenagers are looking forward to drinking their first beer once they turn 16. One teenager, however, is eagerly looking forward to finally fulfilling his dream of making his debut in professional football. His name, Youssoufa Moukoko. Out of the 5 new additions to Borussia Dortmund's first team this summer, Moukoko is the only one who did not feature in an official match yet. Youssoufa Moukoko is a left-footed striker who can play in the middle as well as on both wings. Thanks to his quick thinking and feet, he constantly managed to put himself in promising goal-scoring situations, even against bigger and stronger opponents. Bar potential growth spurts, he currently measures at 1.79 m. His precise shooting allows him to find the back of the net regardless of being in or outside of the box. The only thing stopping him so far was, well, his age in combination with German youth protection laws. Moukoko's journey started exactly 16 years ago, on November 20th of 2004 in the Cameroonian capital Yaoundé, where he spent the first 9 years of his life with his grandparents in the borough Briqueterie. His father is living and working in the German Hansetown Hamburg since the 1990s and eventually became a naturalized German national. When Moukoko was 9 years old, he moved to Germany's second biggest city to live with his father. Wasting no time, he soon joined the under-13 team of Hamburg's iconic FC St. Pauli before he went on to dominate his considerably older peers at under-14 level with 23 goals in 13 appearances, catching the attention of the German footballing elite. Once he decided to take his talents to Borussia Dortmund's youth academy in summer of 2016, no record in German youth football seemed out of reach. At the age of 12 and 13, Moukoko played 2 seasons in the under-17 Bundesliga, contributing 40 and 50 goals as well as 7 and 9 assists in 28 caps, respectively, leading his team to 1 Bundesliga title. After breaking Donis Avdijac's record for most goals scored in an under-17 Bundesliga season, he reached out to the current FC Emmen player, asking him for advice. Avdijac, who himself was once seen as the next big thing in German football, has struggled with the transition to professional football, stating his sole reliance on his talent as the main reason. The now 24-year-old advised Moukoko not to rest on his laurels, but to stay grounded and work hard on all aspects of his game. Seeking advice from players with different trajectories out of youth football shows Moukoko's mature mindset. Moukoko's unparalleled youth career made massive waves in the footballing community and brought Nike to the scene. In the spring of 2019, the American sport equipment giant decided to hand the super talent a long-term contract with a signing bonus of €1 million, making the then 14-year-old Moukoko a millionaire, before taxes that is. It is reported that the contract has a volume of up to €10 million, depending on Moukoko's career trajectory at professional level. A huge leap for Moukoko towards securing his financial future regardless of whether he gains a foothold on senior level. Now it was time for Moukoko to move up to the under-19 Bundesliga for the 2019-2020 season, where his record-setting goal-scoring spree continued with 34 goals and 9 assists in a mere 20 appearances, in a season cut short due to the first wave of COVID-19. Impassing the record-breaking enthusiast made his match and goal-scoring debut in the UEFA Youth League, becoming the youngest player ever in both categories of record. Moukoko, who is a dual national with both the Cameroonian and the German passport, has of course already made his international debut on youth level, where he decided to play for the German under-16 side. Due to the immense media attention his first international games brought about, the German FA honored Dortmund's request to forego nominating Moukoko for the time being to shield the youngster from overexposure. Borussia Dortmund's youth academy has produced its fair share of talents. Nuri Sahin, Mario Götze and Christian Pulisic come to mind. All 3 players who have generated big attention in their teenage years. So it is fair to say that the heads of the BVB Youth Academy are well equipped in handling the role of the media in the upbringing of elite talents inside of the football ecosystem. Accordingly, interview requests for Moukoko were systematically blocked, all in an effort to moderate the expectations towards their star protege. From the 2020-21 season forward, Moukoko is step by step being integrated in first team training. Another big milestone on his journey to turn pro and a chance to learn from Erling Haaland, the current striker darling of the international football community at the age of 20. Haaland was quite impressed by the then 15-year-old, stating that Moukoko is much better at this age than he himself was. When Moukoko was asked about the first training session with the first team, he stated speed as the biggest difference to youth football, but reassured the listeners that he in all honesty had gotten used to the speed after a couple of days already. Moukoko chose 18 as his shirt number, formerly worn by BVB Youth Academy alumni Nuri Sahin, who wore the very same shirt number when he set the record for the youngest appearance in Bundesliga history, with 16 years and 335 days. A record very much in reach for YM18. Borussia Dortmund refrained from buying a backup striker for Haaland, demonstrating a pass for the young Moukoko. A decision perhaps further accelerated by the interest of other clubs in the BVB Academy product. The BVB even went as far as to pressure and eventually convince the German Football League DFL, organizer of the two top-flight divisions of German football, to lower the age requirement from 17 to 16. A step Borussia Dortmund saw themselves forced to take, given the clubs competing in other major European leagues were subjected to laxer age restrictions and thus in an advantageous position to sign players in a similar situation as Moukoko. Bizarrely, Moukoko, now that he turned 16, will be eligible to feature in Bundesliga and the UEFA Champions League matches, however will still not be eligible to feature in matches of Borussia Dortmund's under-23 team, since they play in Germany's 4th division, which is governed by the German Football Association DFB. Legal age restrictions are also the reason that Moukoko is yet to be included in the player pool of your favorite football game. The game developers are for privacy reasons not allowed to include players under the age of 16, unless they obtain the legal guardian's consent. As a result of Moukoko's increasing proximity to professional football, Dortmund's number 18 is now being nominated again for international football, where he made his first two appearances for the German under-20 side in September, contributing an assist against Denmark. While Moukoko is already training with the first team, he's still being fielded for the under-19 team. He started the season exactly where he left off, scoring a hat-trick in each of the first 3 games of the 2020-21 season, only to score 4 goals in his 4th appearance. Regretfully, Moukoko's performance in one of the matches was overshadowed by racial abuse he received from fans of Borussia Dortmund's eternal rival Schalke 04 that made international headlines, when so-called fans used the platform of a youth derby to make a fool of themselves, adding appeal to fan-free stands. Thanks to Moukoko's man of the match performance in the 3-2 victory, Schalke 04 managed to lose both on and off the pitch on that day. Unfortunately, without one professional appearance to his name, this was not the young Moukoko's first run-in with the ugly side of football. Racist tropes of questioning his age have been a constant in the youngling's youth career, something countless other athletes of African descent that came before him, such as Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku, were subjected to. Eventually, the district office of Hamburg North felt obligated to leap to the young man's defense and issue a statement confirming Moukoko's birth certificate. Moukoko is doing most of the talking on the pitch. No wonder, considering the BVB's efforts to keep the young international out of the limelight. So glimpses into his inner workings are sparse. In a rare interview with Sportbild in late 2018, Moukoko himself gave some insight as to his ambitions. He spoke of wanting to turn pro at Borussia Dortmund and leading them to a Champions League victory, as well as dreaming of winning the Ballon d'Or, by far the most prestigious individual award in football. Ambitious goals, of course, but nothing the majority of kids and teenagers eager to become a professional footballer aren't dreaming of. Another window in Moukoko's footballing life is his Instagram account, where Yusufa_10 already amassed 0.74 million followers, more than some of the current squad members of the German national team. Speaking of followers, Barcelona and Inter Milan legend Samuel Eto'o appears to pay close attention to his fellow Cameroonian's youth career, going as far as to speak of Youssoufa Moukoko as a possible successor of none other than Lionel Messi, Moukoko's big idol. Well aware that Messi is at the latter stages of his career, Eto'o thinks Moukoko is equipped to lead Barcelona towards a bright future together with French international Antoine Griezmann. Even head coach of the German national team Joachim Löw remarked on the young Moukoko on at the very least 2 occasions. In October of 2019, he stated to be following Moukoko's career closely and already having inquired about him with his then youth academy coach Michael Skibbe. Löw quickly went on to qualify his statement, pointing out the early stage of Moukoko's development. Upon learning about Löw's statement, Moukoko took to Instagram to express the pride he felt when reading the statement of the world champion coach, but at the same time emphasized that there's still a long road ahead. 1 October later, Löw chose to double down on his public praise of the young Dortmund player, attesting him a talent that is rarely seen. The hype around Moukoko's Bundesliga debut in Germany is reminiscent of the hype around 2019's number 1 draft pick Zion Williams's NBA debut in the USA. Now that he turned 16, Moukoko could potentially make his professional football debut on November 21st of 2020 against Hertha BSC, in out of all places the Olympia Stadium in Germany's capital. A truly fitting stage. It will be interesting to see if Borussia Dortmund will give Moukoko the opportunity to snatch the record for the youngest Bundesliga player at the tender age of 16 years and 1 day. A record that would be next to impossible to break for other early bloomers without further lowering the age restriction to feature in the German top flight division. Anyway, happy birthday Youssoufa Moukoko, and good luck on your endeavors on and off the football field.